live, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
know the guy, it's uncool to out him on the air, like who's asking the question. Some of these motherfuckers probably want attention. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben, here to answer shooting questions. We, of course, have angry Matt Hopkins.
Hi. I'm so
Hi.
angry today.
No, Nick.
Hey guys.
Are you angry about anything?
No, I'm good.
God damn it. How's your shooting been going lately? We haven't really talked about it.
I started shooting again recently. So,
And how was that for you?
It's made me want to compete and stuff again. So yeah, I went to a club match this past weekend, having barely touched the gun in basically a month and a half, and
Ass fucked everyone, didn't you?
I did win. I did beat open shooters, so that was somewhat of a positive sign, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into practice hardcore here pretty soon.
Fantastic. Mr. Alex Burdett.
Yes. Salut. Huh?
Yeah. Play
He's
up
not
that-
from Mexico.
He's
Hi, guys.
the national champion of a country other than Mexico. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
If that means anything.
Which country would that be?
Just
I honestly don't know. I'm sorry.
I know. Alex, this is where you get to have fun.
yeah. Well,
Vatican
Nick,
City.
you should guess.
I don't know. Some people, like, I know some American thinks my country is like in Europe or something. They have no clue where it is. Like, yeah, they don't even geography.
Guess the country. Guess the country.
Yeah,
Nick.
I was gonna guess based on the accent some kind of European country. That's about as far as I was gonna go with that.
All right. So guess the country. You got to guess which country.
I'm trying to think countries you were in recently, and I think Norway was one.
Yes. I was in Norway.
What's
Would
the
it
other
be
one?
Norway?
Yes, exactly.
chance.
The guy with the French name and French accent is national champion of Norway.
Okay.
No, the time difference is the same right now, so I am not in Europe.
He's in the same time zone as you, Nick.
All right. It's a good time zone to be in.
So guess again which country.
So he's in Jamaica.
God.
It's definitely not Europe. He's in the same time zone. He's in the same time zone now, or
He's in the same
the
time zone
country
as
he
you.
won in is in the same time
No,
zone as me.
the country he won in, part of his country's in your time zone. And he is currently in your time zone in his country.
Jesus.
All right, so Canada, Mexico, or
Some
somewhere in
people
South
in this country speak French, a large contingent of them.
Canada.
Yeah, well done,
haven't ruled
sir.
out Canada yet.
Oh, there you go.
You did it. We did it, you guys.
Oh, that was long.
All right, which division are we talking here?
Guess.
Some boring division.
Production.
Boring division. Yeah, production. Of
Did
course.
you beat Trenton?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
congratulations.
he didn't beat
Where-
Trenton. He beat every Canadian motherfucker that stepped to him.
All right, not bad. Trenton's been doing pretty good recently.
Trenton's pretty good.
Good job.
And there's that Remy Doucette. There's all sorts of Canadian dudes up there that are pretty damn
Yeah.
good. All right, let's get to the questions because that's what people are here for. More beneficial to skill development. Multiple 300-ish round training sessions or one long 1,000 round plus training session. Alex, you said this was an obvious question in the pre-show. I suspect this is obvious, but it's not obvious to this guy. Can you wrap your brain around that?
About the 300 or on different training sessions or one big 1,000
Yes.
in
Why
one session?
would this
Yes.
not even be obvious? Because I don't understand it.
No, well, actually, I think like having more sessions with less rounds, because like 300 rounds a session is a pretty good number to me, and it's going to be way more beneficial than just one long ass training session with 1,000 rounds.
The question is why?
Just because you get to shoot the gun like more frequently, and you get to know the gun better, the recoil, the timing of the gun. If you just shoot 1,000 rounds in a day doesn't mean you're gonna focus and have a good training session on all those like 1,000 shots.
Yeah, it's
Like
very
you're gonna,
difficult to focus for 1,000 a day.
you're gonna get tired and you're just gonna waste your time and ammo.
I personally, I can't really do it most days. Like to be all in, focused for 1,000 rounds, and in one go, it's like when Hoppy Cakes comes up here and trains with me next weekend. It'll be like we go shoot for a few hours, then go to lunch and like sit someplace for a while, then go back to the range and like to make it to shoot that much in that time frame. It won't be like you can do it at a stretch. Nick, I imagine you have a similar opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, if I could take one or the other, I'd definitely take the 300 round sessions. I'd rather shoot 300 rounds every day than 1,000 in a day, and then take a couple days off and do it again. Personally, for me, it's very difficult to go beyond 600 in a day and still be, on my game mentally and whatnot. So, I would say the one benefit to shooting a high round count is I think you can press yourself a little bit physically and mentally in that situation if you're shooting them at a reasonable pace and concentrating on doing the best you can with every single rep. But on the whole, I would definitely take the more frequent, shorter sessions as well, because I just think you're going to be concentrating more thoroughly in that situation.
Yes. Matt, anything to add? I imagine not.
No, I totally disagree. I think that the 300 is the way to go if you could do it.
Y'all
1,000
motherfuckers
rounds.
are wrong. Hey, which is better? Run 5 miles a day every day, or just do a marathon on Sunday?
Well, 1 day a week, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, do the marathon that you can't finish in the first fucking place. And you basically die halfway through versus being a little bit fitter every day. Okay. I feel like this is addressed to me. You look like you die a bit inside when someone says double tap. I also remember you saying something along the lines of, it's really frustrating how well double taps work inside 5 yards. My takeaway from this is that if the target's close enough, there might not be anything wrong with double tapping or using a relaxed sight picture for the second shot, but it's very likely to cause behavioral issues and lack of discipline. Am I being dumb, or is this what you mean? These aren't mutually exclusive, sir. Is this not the kind of thing you mean when you say that above A class, you might start finding where you can bend or break the fundamentals? Ooh. I know this is directed at me, so I should probably explain myself and then see if you guys have a reaction to it. So what I would say, this guy's pretty much on the money when I'm talking about how frustrating it can be. So what I mean by double tap is one sight picture, whatever that means, and then press the trigger twice. And in this circumstance, people doing this, one sight picture, two trigger press, generally aren't even trying to see what the sights do in that time. So they'll call the first shot and have no idea where the second one goes, just hope it goes where they want. And yeah, that works pretty well at close range, especially when you're not moving around. And yes, this guy's right that can cause behavioral issues. And it's not just the obvious stuff. Like they can apply that on targets that are far enough or difficult enough a way that it won't work. And they can also, in a weird way, this leads to people sort of over-aiming on a lot of close targets. So they'll aim really hard at the target for one shot and then pull the trigger twice, so they end up being slower because they're not looking through the sights and shooting that way. So yes, it can cause a lot of problems. You've got to learn what you can get away with, but the double tapping, shooting two shots and not even paying attention to where the sights are for the second one is not a good thing, I think, because you can see what the sights do while they move, so you might as well pay attention to that. Anyway, Alex, you'd probably like to go first. What would your reaction be to that?
Well, actually, it's not about double tapping, but more about having good fundamentals and realizing that you can get away with at short distances, you just gotta aim the gun barely and just press the trigger as fast as you can, and your shots are going to be dead on. If you have good fundamentals, if you grip the gun hard, if you pull the trigger straight to the back, and it's not even about double tapping. It's even like if you do a bill drill or anything, you just squeeze the trigger as fast as you can, straight to the back with a good grip, and the shots are all going to be like centered. As you're still looking through the sights, but you don't care. Well, I personally don't care much. I just know I can shoot it as fast as I can.
I wouldn't consider that double tapping though.
No, it's not double tapping. It's
Well,
like,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
just
Well, we could settle on Matt. What terminology wise, what frustrates you about that?
Double tap?
Yeah.
It's a guy that said like bam bam, bam bam, bam bam on like an El Pres array.
Yeah, double tap is one of those terms like follow through where you got to get really specific with what people mean about it. You know what I mean?
To me, it means one sight picture or no sight pictures and 2 shots.
Yeah. That would be typical. That's be what I usually think somebody means, but usually you got to clarify. What I say to somebody is like, if you're doing one sight picture and 2 shots, like the main thing that I'd want to impart on that person is that if you watch the sights, if you actually believe you can see them, you're going to see what they do the whole time. So there's no reason not to look at it. And then if you start watching how your sights move in recoil, you start learning a lot of stuff, and you're able to like clearly understand what's happening when you're shooting the gun as it's happening. It helps you improve. So that does make me die a little bit inside when people are double tapping.
oh, and you'll see them double tap on like a 20-yard partial. And like,
Yes, that would be the
it's
behavioral issue.
like there's no way they saw the sights.
Right. There's no way they saw the sights for the second shot. And then the other thing that people who do that usually start thinking is, well, I will apply the same process, one sight picture, 2 shots, even on longer targets. I'm just going to slow down a little bit and then get their one sight picture and fire the 2 shots a little bit slower and then just hope that they hook up by voodoo. And again, that's
By
another
voodoo?
thing. Witchcraft, whatever. Who knows? And that's another thing. Like, yeah, that sort of thinking works well enough for a while, but if you want to get really good, you could just pay attention to what's happening all the time and really master the shit. Okay. I think it's time to go to the last question, guys. It's going to be fantastic. Have you ever appealed wrong scores after major match results were posted? Tablet guy lost my stage results and entered bullshit instead. No info on verification cutoff time was conveyed to the shooters. Verification sheets were not posted either. I'm not crazy about extra 30 points on a 1,000 points match at my shooting level, but I think this kind of approach is wrong and harmful for the sport. What would you do? That's an interesting question. So, major match is over. The appeals cutoff is done, whether they conveyed it to you or not. So basically, match results go up, and they go up wrong. What do you do about this, Mr. Nick? What would you do?
The first thing I'm trying to do is think of whether I've ever had this happen to me at a USPSA match, and I can't think of a time that I have had my scores posted wrong first time at a USPSA match. I have had it happen in IDPA matches years ago several times. And
really?
Yeah.
Did they not like you?
Well, no, I mean, I think it was before practice score, and I don't know if IDPA does practice score or not these days, but this is in the days of 100% pure paper score sheets, and I just think there's a lot of human transcription error happening. So, I would go talk to the stats person, show them my paper copy, and they would correct it, and next time they'd release the next draft of the scores, it would be correct, and I don't feel bad about doing that. So if your score is wrong, go fix it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So you may think it's only 30 points. Maybe you think the guy in front of you is more than that ahead, but stuff happens. Maybe his score is wrong too. So I'd rather just have him right. So I wouldn't feel bad about going to correct it.
What if they tell you to go fuck yourself?
Well, I've
Find
never had
another
that
match.
happen. Yeah, I mean, if you can demonstrate conclusively that they're wrong, then and they're not going to correct it, then I'm not going to be probably not going to be likely to shoot that match in the future. But I can't even think of a time when I've heard of that happening.
I have heard of that happening. I mean, when the scores are final, what, an hour after they're posted?
Well, okay. So if you're outside of the window or whatever, fine. Okay.
Well, I've heard them telling people off at that match, and I've seen match results change a day or two after a match too.
Yeah.
So I've seen it go both ways.
Do we have is there a hard rule on this, or is it just kind of up to the discretion of the match director at this point? What the time window is?
I think
it's 1 hour.
A rule. I think it's 1 hour. Yeah.
1 hour is in the rule book.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, then there shouldn't be any. Then there shouldn't really be any discussion about it.
Well.
Yeah, but what if the match doesn't post the verification?
It's interesting you say that, Nick, because this would be one of those circumstances where most people aren't really going to give a fuck what's in the rules. You know what I mean?
Well, there's got to be a cutoff sometime. Right?
I was at a match recently where it's a multi-day match, and one dude had the wrong score in for a stage. Clearly the wrong score. Like half the time of the other guys in a way that's like not possible on that stage. Yeah. But it's like signed, verified. It's his legit score. By the rule book, that's his score. He signed it like that's the score. This is what happened. And it's like, yeah, this dude's going to reshoot. And then people who, like the rule book people are like, well, but how can they make him do that? And blah, blah, blah. It's like, just watch. This fucking dude's going to reshoot.
Now, signing the score sheet, is that in the rule book? Does that actually mean anything?
Yeah. Or would you that's why they have you hit approve on a pad, like you're kind of signing off on it.
See, half the time I don't even do that. Most matches I go to don't.
But everybody's agreeing that that's the score, and they're like, well, but how can they make him do this and this? Like, just watch. This fucking dude's gonna reshoot, and sure enough, that dude reshot the stage because it's like I know what the rule book says, but if they had the wrong score at nationals. Like, would you really care if it's outside of an hour, Nick? Like, hey, we got the wrong result at nationals. Like, the wrong dude's getting the trophy.
I mean, I'd rather have it correct.
Exactly.
That's
you
not
wouldn't give a flying fuck about the hour.
But it's going to be blatantly obvious. You're going to have 15 people banging down Foley's door
of
within
course.
10 seconds.
In that circumstance, you would. It's not really reasonable to think that would happen. Yeah. But if you wouldn't care at national, like. Your club match may well be nationals to somebody. You know what I mean? It's like, in their mind, this is like really important to get it right. So my personal ethic on it is I wouldn't care really if it's a few days after the match. If the scores are wrong, correct them. What I would say is if the prize table's done, it's done. You're not going to change that. But getting the right scores posted and getting the right trophies in the hands of the people that should have them, I personally wouldn't care if they did that a couple days after. That for me, like I wouldn't want a trophy that's not mine. I would want to get that to the right guy. And I wouldn't like it if I would really not like it if the match results were wrong, not in my favor. That would be annoying as well.
Yeah, that is true. You can look to other sports here, and at some point though, it has to be cut off. Like the changes have to stop now.
Of course, and having an hour in the rule book is pretty reasonable.
I think an hour is reasonable.
Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes shit happens, and they're going to go outside the rule book, and that's not the stuff that I would complain about. I don't know, Hopkins. Do you have thoughts on this?
Well, I just take it from the standpoint. I agree with no matter what the winner should be the winner, but people are going to say, "Well, it's in the rule book. It's an hour. Results are fine."
Yeah, it's like, well, by the rules, this other guy's the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody will know that, But you have to have the rules say something.
Yeah, of course. Alex, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not much, except that you.
Well, you know this guy. I didn't say which match it was. I'm not gonna out
No,
him.
no. Yeah, I know who this guy is, and I've seen that happen. Like, but you're never gonna see like any complaint, except if it's like affecting the shooter negatively. So it's pretty much if someone like gets like the time wrong and it's like after time as anyone else and he gets the stage win, he's not gonna be the guy who's gonna go say to RO like, hey, my time is wrong. I should reshoot that stage. Like,
That's actually a good test of a guy's ethics to see if they will do that. Because I have seen guys that will argue it that way, and then I've seen guys that do nothing, where it's like the guy clearly had the wrong time.
I signed the sheet.
Yeah, and I signed the sheet, and you just got your douche ticket punched, dude. So, like, you know what I'm talking about, Nick. I had that same scenario happen in a match.
Yeah. At the same time, man, like self-belief in yourself and, your own superiority can be a powerful force in your brain. Like, you may not honestly believe that it's wrong, even though to everybody else it's blatantly obvious. It's like your stage performance is like, that's your child. You believe your child is superior no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. Right? But no, I know what you're
we have wildly different views of our own.
I think you got a bigger problem here with the way this guy describes this, though. He says, tablet guy lost my stage results and entered BS instead. I mean, what? That's a bigger problem than the entire rest of this question combined. Like, you can't, if you lost your results, then either you got to go to some paper backup that the competitor has, or you got to reshoot the stage. Like,
I don't think they had I doubt they had a paper backup in this.
Well, then you got to reshoot.
Yeah, it's some RO mistake right there.
Right. That's a reshoot. That's not a make up a time and make up some points. I mean, what is that? That's horrible. If that's
it's
what
not
happened.
Great. It's not a good situation, that's for sure. All right.
I don't know what he means by verification sheets were not posted. I don't know what that is.
Well, they never, like at matches, they've got to post the verify list. You know what I mean?
Oh, so he's saying like, will they post it online or they won't post it?
Doesn't matter. He's saying they didn't post them, period.
So he's saying the first score release was final. They didn't have an hour.
I suppose so.
They never posted.
All right, well, that's
Nick, you know how at Pro-Am they post all the scores up before
problem.
They do the awards?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what he means by verification sheets.
Well, every USPSA match every match I've ever been to, period. It's not a club match. It has some form of score verification period. Even if USPSA, your average sectional, most people jet out of there. I think there's still an hour after the scores are posted where you can call in from the highway and say, my score's wrong or whatever. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most matches have that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you got an RO that's just entering crap, and then you don't have a score, any kind of period to contest the scores, be it remotely or otherwise, I mean, those are...
Yeah, that's what we call a red flag.
Yeah.
That match is going to be a no-go. It's just, no thank you. All right. Well, gentlemen, another bang-up show, that's for sure. I don't think there's much else to say on this. Anyway, thank you for listening, people. If you have a shooting question or a scoring question you want Nick to answer, or Alex, or any of the boys, send that to me. Go to benstoeger.com. We'd love to take your question, wouldn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.